Hello students, your teacher here, Mr. Sarasinski, with another episode of Getting Ready for Geometry. In this video, we're going to be figuring out or finding the angles between a transversal and parallel lines, and I'm only going to give you one angle. And this is kind of similar to what we did in our last video when I was introducing parallel and perpendicular lines, but now we're going to take it a little bit further and just try to get a little more practice with this skill. Okay, so I have my parallel lines, and remember, we use these little arrows on the parallel lines to show that they're parallel. So if you ever see that in a diagram, you know that those two lines are parallel. And then we are cut by this transversal. And so we create some angle measures. And the first angle I'm going to give you is this one. It's 100 degrees. All right. And now, using what we know about angles in the previous videos, let's see if we can figure out what the rest of the angles are that have been cut by this transversal. Well, I know based on what I learned about corresponding angles, corresponding angles being angles in the same position on the same side of the transversal, that this angle here is also 100. These are both on the right side of the transversal in the upper right quadrant. And so now, let's see, what else do I know? Well, I know that vertical angles are equal, and so I can say this is also 100, and this is also 100. Okay, and I think I'll finish that part now. Okay, so let's go find what some of these other angles are. And in one of our previous videos, you learned what a straight angle was, and you learned what a linear pair was. And in the upper part here, where the transversal cuts the top line, there is a semicircle being formed, or a straight angle being formed right here. And so I can say that this whole angle is definitely equal to 180 degrees. And if that angle is 100, well, then I know the measure of this angle, it's 80. And let's see, corresponding to the upper left quadrant angle would be this upper left quadrant angle, also 80. Okay, let's fix that. It's a wonky 8. There we go. And now I can use my vertical angles rule again to complete this diagram. So this angle is also going to be 80, and this angle is also going to be 80. And notice too, corresponding can take you pretty far. I think only using corresponding and linear pairs, we could have gotten this. And so it's kind of interesting when you realize there's multiple ways based on the angle relationships that you've learned. But again, we had some corresponding, some vertical, and a linear pair. I am your teacher. This is the way.